You're the first person I thought of.
Is the team any good?
No.
Don't underestimate the impact you can have on them.
You got this. No, don't just nod. I want to hear your voice. Yes or no?
Yes, Coach.
You had previously said that you had to step away from the Batman because you were afraid it would drain you too much personally. Did you feel that sort of trepidation with The Way Back? And if so, how did you overcome that?
No, quite the opposite, actually. The Way Back's the kind of movie that energizes me personally, where I get to experience like these intense and real emotions that are very relatable, and that the experiencing of which is very cathartic and kind of wonderful, even when they're sad. Add to that the extraordinary cast that I got to work with. It was just like so much fun every day. What's not fun, big blockbusters are cool and they're great, but they're not that fun to make, just on a very practical level, because they're very long, they're very compartmentalized. You're doing one tiny little piece at a time. Oftentimes you just feel like you're moving your foot a quarter of it. It's very hard to continue to motivate yourself to find your passion. I stepped away from the Batman movie because I felt like it should be made by someone whose lifelong passion it was, you know what I mean? And if that wasn't me, then I wasn't the right guy.
I got a feeling this team is not as bad as its record. We have to trust each other.
We have to have faith.
I just want you to be happy again, but you kind of want it too.
With a story like The Way Back, there's always the emotional support that the main character gets in their moment of adversity, and you both play that role wonderfully. And this movie sort of plays around with that trope a bit, and I wanted to know what you felt about how your characters differ from the typical support system of like a run-of-the-mill triumph of adversity.
Well, we've talked about this between us. Mostly you see the woman who is dealing very badly with a loss in her life, and the man is very stoic, and I'm really happy that in this piece we are seeing a wife who has unfortunately had to choose herself, put herself first, move on from the man that she's still very much in love with, just to be able to cope with her own experience. And it's something we don't always get to see, so I'm really proud of that.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're looking at two women characters who are watching somebody they love drown, and they've been doing everything they could to try to save him. And now they're saying, I'm not going to drown with you, but I'm going to be here on the side of the pool with a lifesaver and some like CPR know-how whenever you tell me you're done drowning. And I think in this case, Angela has said, I only have two choices. I either drown with you or I pull myself to the side of the pool myself. And in Beth's case, it's, all right, I know you haven't said uncle yet, but I'm coming in and I'm saving you, and you don't get a say in this.
Keep pressing, trapping, taking charges. You guys earned this tonight.
Now, gentlemen, how did you prep for the teaming aspect of the film? Were you basketball players beforehand?
I was not a basketball player beforehand. I was a baseball player growing up. And so when I got the role, when Gavin gave me the role, I had to really put in the work, because my character in the movie, he basically just sinks three-pointers. And I had to go do that. I had to just go to the court every day and put up a bunch of shots and get my shot looking good and feeling good to the point where we could do it when the camera was rolling.
I've been playing basketball my whole life. Never organized, so I had a foundation coming into it. We did a lot of rehearsal, and I had some polishing to do and some brushing up. But yeah, there was some skill already there to bring to the set.
I feel like going into any project, you have to build relationships and chemistry with your coworkers. And if you can, something that's parallel to your relationships in the film, so you can have some organic chemistry on set. And we were able to do that as a team through all the practices we had before filming.
It wasn't like nothing that was set up or planned for us to be able to bond more. It's just the more time we spent together, the more comfortable and close we got with each other. You know what I mean? And the more time we spent, the better it got. So we had spent a few months practicing in the gym together, rehearsing the plays. So by the time we got to start shooting, it was so easy because I knew who Melvin was and got to know who he was as a person, and he got to know me, and we all kind of got to know each other. So it was very easy. Just, you know, when you spend 12 or 13 hours a day with someone, man, it's like you get to know them completely who they are. So it kind of formulated a brotherhood between all of us.
Now, Ben, I'm still sort of new to the junket process here, and you've done millions of these. But after watching this, it's like I want you to coach me. Like, how would you motivate me through this? How would you coach me through
I don't know. You know, good writing, I guess, and these guys make me look good. You know,
Cool.
It's because they were so good at executing. You know, you don't just do the sports stuff. That acting and the sports stuff sort of goes together because there are emotional reactions happening during the athletic execution that you have to get right, and it's all just smoke and mirrors. Me standing and waving on the sidelines, and these guys doing all the work. I do, as a director, find that the best way to motivate people to do their best work is to include them, to encourage them, to make them feel empowered, to make them feel part of the process, and to be supported. I am not a believer in like humiliating drill sergeant, you know, kind of like yelling, admonishing. I think that is a very poor form of leadership.
You're nervous. I get it. Truth is, they're more talented than you. Probably got a better coach. But I promise you, they are not a better team.
Gavin, you're certainly no stranger to motivational sports movies with Miracle and Warrior. What is it about the genre that keeps you coming back?
Look, I never, after Warrior, I said I'm never making another movie that has anything to do with sports again. And then I did. So, but I don't look at this as a sports movie. To me, it was much more of a character study, and that's what attracted me to the story.
Now, what was the hardest day on set, and what was the easiest day?
Ooh, hardest day on set for me was when he made me run those sprints over and over and over and over and over. And I was running like 3 or 4 before we even were rolling. And I remember just being like, wow, this is, but that's what is so great, I think, about Gavin as a director. I think he takes it so seriously that he's like, I'm trying to get the most honesty as possible out of this actor. What can I do to make this moment more honest? And in that moment, it was just running my butt off.
I don't know if it was the hardest day, but I remember being very afraid to do the pump up speech at the end. I've always struggled with a moment that exudes confidence and or reads that way. For some reason, I've never connected myself with that. Like, I never had connected with myself with that word. So I was afraid that I wouldn't be able to really grasp that moment. And so I was afraid all day until we started doing it. And after the first one, I was like, okay. It kind of just.
Well, I didn't know that. Because I mean, the first take, you'd never know that you were like charged, man. You were leading it to battle.
You're the boss.
You were.
You know, Gavin's talked about that last scene, you know, shooting that with Ben. I'm really proud to have been able to be there to sort of hold his big old head in between takes and as we reset and watch him wring himself out.